create the tsconfig file, and from the terminal let's select command prompt, and here let's run this command tsc -init. Now if you didn't install Typescript globally, then it won't work. For that you need to install this globally first, but I have already installed this, so we can run this command. Now this is our generated Typescript config file. You can close this and keep it as default. Now let's create a Typescript file, name this app.ts, and first let's see a simple class with access modifier. So we can define class like this, class person maybe, and it has properties and methods. So let's say name or first name string, last name which will be string, and we can add a method like get full name, and it will return this dot first name and with a space, and then this dot last name. Now you can see that it's already complaining about initialization. These properties must be initialized either here or in the constructor, like this first name, and same for last name. Now it will not complain, but there's another way, and the most common way is to use constructor and initialize them in that constructor. So the constructor is a special method which will be invoked when you will create an instance of this person class. So we will receive first name and last name, so f name will be string and l name will be string, and we will assign our class properties or members, you could say. This dot first name equal f name, and this dot last name equal l name. So this is how you can actually create a class with constructor, but there's a shorthand to this syntax, because we are actually creating or defining the properties and then we are assigning it. So the shorthand would be something like this. We can delete this one, and also this assignment we can just make it public, and we can define the name first name and also public, and this last name. Now this is actually the same as before, just we are using the shorthand syntax right now. Now most of the time we don't use public, we actually use private. So private. Now let's see what happens when we make a class property private. So let's save this and create an instance of this class. So we can define it like const p1 equal new person, and we have to provide the first name and last name. So suppose Robin, and you can put your name or any name you want. So here I can actually access this last name property and set a different one, like snow, and if we log this in the console like p1 dot last name and save it. Now let's compile it. So tsc and run node app.js. You can see the last name is changed, but we cannot actually change the first name because this property is private. We can only access it inside this person class, like this one. We can change it here, like this dot first name equal something else. So it's possible within this class. This is the behavior of private and public access modifiers. So we can also use setter and getter for this first name. So let's create setter and getter for this one. So first let's create the getter. So to create getter, let's add this first name, and it will return this dot first name. And also we can set the first name, and it will take a value and which will be string, and then we can actually set this dot first name equal value. Now we can access this first name property through this setter and getter, like this one I'm showing you. So p1 dot first name, and we can say this different value. And now if we actually log this whole object and compile this by running tsc command and run the generated FJS node FJS, you can see person, the income is changed here. We can also only log the first name. So this refers to this method, not this one, this string property. So we call it like this. There will be no parenthesis after this one, because this is actually getter. So this is the setter and getter. So we have learned simple class with access modifier like private and public, and there is also another access modifier which is protected. I will talk about this in a few minutes. So we have covered also setters and getters. Now let's see the concept of inheritance. For that, first let's all make all these properties private. Save it. Now let's create another class. So class snail, which will extend, I mean inherit from this person class, and it will also have constructor for passing these values. So let's add this constructor. It will also receive first name and last name. So this will not be the properties, because we already have it here. So we'll just accept normal variables or normal values, and then we have to call this this constructor, I mean base class constructor. We call this using super keyword. So super fname and lname. But there's a problem. The problem is that these are private class, and private class are not shared with the children, so we have to make them protected to access this. Now let's try to override this function here. So we will add this function here also with the same name, and what we will do, we will return Mr. actually Mr. and then the first name and last name. So this dot first name and this dot last name. Now you can see this is not the property we are trying to access. We are trying to access this one. So this, as this is a private, so we cannot access them like this. So we have to make this protected. So this is another access modifier in object oriented programming. So let's make this protected. to access these properties in the child classes. So this is child class male, so we will access the first name and space and then last name. So this is how we can actually override a method from base class and also make protected to access them in the child class. Now if we create a person from male, so male, then you can see that if we try to actually get the full name in a variable, so p1 dot full name, sorry, not first name, get full name, and then log it in the console, we will see that. Now let's compile this and run the file again, app.js. You can see now it's logging Mr. Robin Khan, but if we actually comment this out from mail class, we can still have access to get full method, full name. This method actually points to this base person class method. So if we now execute this function, now it will be only Robin Khan, not this Mr. Now let's compile this and see it. So tsc and node app.js. Now you can see that it's only logging Robin Khan. Now let's uncomment this. So this is actually how we can override some functions. So we have completed the method overriding, and inheritance. Now let's see another concept, which is abstract class and abstract functions or properties. So to create any abstract properties or function, we have to mark the class abstract. So make this class abstract, and we can now add abstract functions. What are abstract functions? Abstract functions are actually function signature, not the function body or definition. So like we will first specify its abstract, and then I will create a function. So let's say get gender, and what it will return? It will return string. That's it. Now we are forcing this male class to implement this function, and this is actually totally this male class responsibility to define this function, but we are actually specifying that every class that extends from this person class has to specify this gender get gender function. So let's add the get gender function below, get gender, and it's already detected that from the base class that it will return string. So we will return male. Now the errors are gone and this is complete. So this is how we can create abstract functions or abstract class. Abstract class can have actually normal functions and properties, but we have also a concept of interface, and interface has all the properties and functions are almost like abstract. So we'll see that later. Now I want to tell you something else, that is one class cannot extend from multiple classes. So like from person and animal or something else, we cannot actually extend or inherit from multiple classes. Now let's see a concept of interface, but before that let's write it down that we just completed abstraction. So abstraction And now let's create an interface in the top. So interface, and name this, I'll name this greetable, and it will have, I mean, whatever class implements this will have name and a greet method. So greet, which will take phrase as string, and it will return void. It will just log something in the console like hi, the username. So now what we can do, we can actually implement this greetable in the person class. So implements greetable. Now we are forced to add these properties and methods. So we have already, we don't have name, so we can just add this like here. So we can make this private or protected, as we inherit from as we have child class. So protected name, and it will be string, we know that. So it will be string, and we can add this. So name equal this dot first name plus this dot last name. But we are missing this greet function, so let's add this also. So greet method in the below of this abstract method. So greet, it will return string, void, and it will take its phrase as string. So now let's log something like hi, and then the name of the name, this dot name, like this. And now it's complaining that in the interface the name is public, and here we have made this protected, so this won't work. Protected and private functions don't exist in the interface, so we have to make it public, either by specifying this like public, or let's just remove this. By default, if we don't specify the type, it will be public. So the error is gone. So now let's save this, and let's see if we can greet someone. So like p1 dot greet, and it will not return anything. So like this, and we have to make the phrase. So this will be actually phrase, this will not be hi, so this will be phrase, and then a space, and let's pass this phrase, and we don't need to explicitly log something. So let's save this, and now compile the file and run our generated app.js. You can see hi Robinhood. So this is how actually interface works. We can define an interface, and there's another thing, we can actually implement multiple interface. So suppose we have another interface, and we can name this like human, and it will have per se this get full name function. So get full name, it will be void, it will return void, and it will not accept any parameter. So we can actually implement both, like human. Now this is okay, we already have this method here. So implementing multiple classes is possible, but inheriting from multiple classes is not possible. That's what I want to make sure that you understand. So we have already completed this one also, interface, and that's it for this video. See you in the next video.